Chapter 1, The Enchanted Canvas. Tobian, a young and talented wizard artist, had a gift that set him apart from others. His drawings came to life. With a mere stroke of his brush, he could create worlds, summon creatures, and even glimpse into the future. His art was a blend of magic and creativity, and it was his passion to capture the beauty of the world around him. But among all the subjects he loved to draw, none captivated him more than his girlfriend, Nivara. Nivara was no ordinary girl. She was a shapeshifter, a being of magic herself, who could transform into any creature or form she desired. Her favorite pastime was collecting precious stones, each one imbued with its own unique magical properties. Her collection was vast, filled with shimmering gems that held the essence of the places they had visited together. One day, while exploring a forgotten corner of the world, Tobian and Nivara stumbled upon a hidden cave. The entrance was veiled by a curtain of ivy, and the air around it hummed with a faint magical energy. Intrigued, they ventured inside, their curiosity guiding them deeper into the cavern. The walls of the cave sparkled with embedded gemstones, and the light from Tobian's staff danced across the surfaces, casting a kaleidoscope of colors. Nivara's eyes lit up with excitement as she examined the stones. "These are no ordinary gems, Tobian," she whispered, her voice filled with wonder. "Each of these stones holds ancient magic, long forgotten by the world." Tobian nodded, his eyes scanning the cave. "This place, it feels like a forgotten realm, a sanctuary of magic that time has left untouched." As they ventured further, they came upon a large chamber. At its center was an old, worn easel, and on it, a canvas covered in dust. Tobian approached it, brushing away the dirt to reveal a half-finished painting. The image depicted a grand, otherworldly landscape, with mountains that touched the sky and rivers of liquid light. But what caught Tobian's attention was the figure in the foreground, a woman, whose features bore a striking resemblance to Nivara. "This painting, it's as if someone began to capture your essence, but never finished," Tobian murmured, his fingers tracing the outline of the figure. Nivara shifted into her human form, standing beside him. "Perhaps it was an artist like you, one who found inspiration in the magic of this place." Tobian's eyes gleamed with inspiration. "What if I complete it? Perhaps there's a reason we found this canvas." Nivara smiled, nodding in agreement. "And while you paint, I'll explore the cave further. There's bound to be more hidden here." As Nivara delved deeper into the cave, Tobian set to work. His brush moved with purpose, guided by a force he couldn't quite explain. The colors seemed to leap from his palette, each stroke bringing the landscape to life. As he painted, he felt a connection to the artist who had started the piece, as if their spirits were working in harmony across time. Hours passed, and Tobian finally stepped back to admire his work. The painting was complete, the landscape vibrant and alive. But something strange began to happen. The figure in the painting, the one resembling Nivara, started to move. Her eyes blinked, and she smiled, stepping out of the canvas and into the chamber. Tobian gasped in surprise, but before he could react, the woman spoke. "Thank you, kind artist. I am Alara, the spirit of this cave. I was trapped within the unfinished painting by a spell long ago. Your magic has freed me." Nivara returned just in time to witness the miraculous event. "Alara," she said, her voice filled with awe. "I've read about you in ancient texts. You were a guardian of magical realms, a protector of forgotten places." Alara nodded. "Indeed, and now that I am free, I can once again fulfill my duty. But first, let me offer you a gift as thanks." She waved her hand, and a bright light enveloped the chamber. When it faded, a brilliant gemstone lay at Nivara's feet, glowing with an inner fire. "This gem," Alara explained, "is the heart of the earth. It holds the power to guide you to places of great magic and mystery. Use it wisely on your travels." With that, Alara faded into the air, leaving Tobian and Nivara alone in the chamber. Nivara picked up the gem, her eyes shining with excitement. "This is incredible, Tobian. With this, we'll be able to discover even more wonders. Tobian smiled, already imagining the new adventures that awaited them. And I'll be there to capture every moment on canvas. Together, they left the cave, the heart of the earth guiding their way to new and magical adventures. And so, their journey continued, with Tobian's art and Nivara's love of precious stones leading them to the farthest reaches of the world, where magic and wonder awaited them at every turn. Chapter 2, The Shifting Sands. With the heart of the earth guiding their way, Tobian and Nivara set out on a new journey. As they walked through a vast desert under the blazing sun, the landscape around them seemed to shift and change, the dunes constantly reshaping themselves like waves in an ocean of sand. Nivara, ever the shapeshifter, decided it was time for a change. I think it's time for something new, she said with a mischievous grin. With a quick flash of light, her form began to alter. Her hair turned a rich, fiery red, and her eyes became a deep amber. Her skin took on a golden hue, almost like the sands around them, and her clothes transformed into a flowing, light garment that shimmered with every movement. Tobian watched in awe as Nivara's new appearance took shape. "You look like the spirit of the desert itself," he remarked, unable to resist sketching the transformation in his notebook. Nivara twirled, her new form radiating confidence and grace. "If we're traveling through the sands, I might as well blend in," she said with a wink. "Besides, who knows what kind of creatures or treasures we might find out here." As they continued their journey, the heart of the earth began to glow faintly, pointing them toward a distant, shimmering oasis. Intrigued, they followed its guidance, the desert heat giving way to a cool breeze as they approached the oasis. The oasis was unlike any they had ever seen. Palm trees with silver leaves swayed gently in the wind, and the waters of the oasis sparkled with an ethereal blue light. At the center of the oasis stood an ancient stone pillar, covered in strange runes and symbols. Nivara, her curiosity piqued, approached the pillar and ran her fingers over the symbols. "These runes, they're a language of ancient magic. I've seen them in my studies, but they're much older than anything I've encountered." Tobian joined her, studying the pillar closely. "It's as if this place is a crossroads of magic, where different realms intersect. The heart of the earth must have led us here for a reason." Just as Tobian said this, the ground beneath them began to tremble. The water in the oasis rippled, and the pillar started to glow with a soft, golden light. A deep voice echoed through the air, as if the desert itself were speaking. "Travelers, you who have awakened the pillar of the sands, hear my call. I am Sehar, the guardian of this oasis, the keeper of the desert's secrets. Long have I waited for those worthy to unlock the mysteries of this place." Nivara and Tobian exchanged glances, their excitement growing. "What must we do to unlock these secrets?" Nivara asked, her voice steady despite the power of the voice surrounding them. "The runes on this pillar," Sehar continued, "are a puzzle, a test of wisdom and courage. Solve it, and you shall gain the knowledge to control the sands themselves, to summon the power of the desert." Tobian's eyes gleamed with determination. "A magical puzzle, this is exactly the kind of challenge we're meant to face, Nivara." Nivara nodded, her fingers already tracing the runes, trying to decipher their meaning. The symbols seemed to represent the elements earth, water, fire, and air. But there's something more, something hidden within the patterns. As Nivara worked on the runes, Tobian conjured his magical paints, letting his intuition guide him. He began to draw on the sand at the base of the pillar, creating symbols that mirrored those on the stone. The colors he used seemed to resonate with the pillar, each stroke of his brush bringing the runes to life. Minutes turned into hours as they pieced together the puzzle. Nivara, with her deep knowledge of ancient magic, and Tobian, with his artistic intuition, worked in perfect harmony. Finally, as the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the desert, they completed the puzzle. The pillar shone brightly, and the desert around them responded. The sands began to swirl, forming a whirlwind of golden particles that encircled the oasis. In the midst of the whirlwind, a figure emerged, a tall, regal man with skin the color of the desert sands and eyes that gleamed like the sun. "I am Sehar, the spirit of the desert," the figure said, his voice now calm and welcoming. "You have proven yourselves worthy, and as promised, I shall grant you the knowledge to command the sands." He extended his hand, and a small, golden vial appeared in his palm. "This vial contains the essence of the desert. With it, you can call upon the sands, shape them as you wish, and unlock paths to hidden places. Use it wisely, for the desert is as unforgiving as it is beautiful." Tobian accepted the vial with reverence, feeling the magic thrumming within it. "Thank you, Sehar. We will honor this gift." Sehar nodded and began to fade away, his form dissolving into the sands. "May the desert's wisdom guide you on your journey, travelers." As the spirit vanished, the whirlwind ceased, and the oasis returned to its tranquil state. Nivara looked at Tobian, her eyes glowing with excitement. "With this essence, who knows where the sands will take us next?" Tobian smiled, already envisioning the new adventures they would embark upon. "Wherever it is, I'll be ready to capture it on canvas. The world is full of wonders, and with you by my side, we'll discover them all." With the essence of the desert in hand, and the heart of the earth guiding their way, Tobian and Nivara set off once more, ready to face whatever magical challenges and hidden mysteries awaited them in the vast, ever-changing world. Chapter 3: The Whispering Forest. After their journey through the desert, Tobian and Nivara found themselves drawn to a dense, ancient forest. The trees towered above them, their branches intertwined to form a canopy so thick that only slivers of sunlight pierced through. The air was cool and filled with the sounds of rustling leaves and distant bird calls. It was a place where nature's magic was palpable, where every step felt like an intrusion into a realm of secrets. Nivara, always one for change, decided it was time for a new form to suit their surroundings. With a playful smile, she closed her eyes, and her body began to shimmer. Her fiery red hair transformed into cascading waves of deep green, like the leaves of the ancient trees around them. Her eyes shifted to a vibrant, emerald green, and her skin took on a soft, earthy tone, as if she were a creature born from the very soil beneath her feet. Her attire morphed into a dress of woven leaves and vines, giving her the appearance of a forest nymph. Tobian watched in admiration as Nivara's new form took shape. "You're breathtaking, Nivara," he said, his hands already moving to sketch her in his notebook. "You look like you belong to the heart of this forest." Nivara laughed softly, her voice carrying a musical quality. "I think I do now. This forest feels alive, as if it's watching us, waiting to see what we'll do next." As they ventured deeper into the forest, they began to notice something unusual. The trees seemed to be whispering, their leaves rustling in a rhythmic pattern, almost like a language. The whispers grew louder as they walked, drawing them toward the center of the forest, where the trees grew even taller and more ancient. "The trees are trying to tell us something," Tobian mused, his eyes narrowing as he tried to make sense of the sounds. Nivara nodded, her senses heightened by her new form. "There's an intelligence here, something guiding us. We should follow it." The heart of the earth, which had been guiding them so far, pulsed gently, affirming their decision. They continued to follow the whispers until they reached a clearing at the very heart of the forest. In the center of the clearing stood a massive, ancient tree, its trunk wider than any they had ever seen. The bark was covered in glowing runes, and at the base of the tree, a large stone altar rested, overgrown with moss and ivy. "This tree, it's the source of the whispers," Nivara said, her voice hushed with awe. "It's ancient, older than the forest itself." Tobian approached the altar, his eyes fixed on the glowing runes. "These runes are like the ones we saw in the desert, but they're different. They seem to be telling a story." As he examined the runes, the whispers grew louder, and the tree began to glow with a soft, golden light. A deep, resonant voice filled the clearing, speaking directly to them. "Welcome, travelers, to the Whispering Forest. I am Eldros, the guardian of these woods," the keeper of nature's secrets. For centuries, I have protected this forest and the life within it. You have been guided here by the forest's will, for there is a task that only you can complete. Nivara stepped forward, her emerald eyes shining with determination. What task must we fulfill, Eldros? The forest is in need of balance, Eldros explained. A dark force has taken root in a hidden grove, poisoning the land and corrupting the creatures that dwell within. It seeks to consume the forest's magic and twist it for its own purposes. You must find this grove and cleanse it, restoring harmony to the forest. Tobian looked at Nivara, their resolve mirrored in each other's eyes. We will do whatever it takes to help. But how do we find this grove? Eldros' voice softened. The heart of the earth will guide you, but you must also use the gifts of the forest. Nivara, your connection to nature will be your strength, and Tobian, your art will reveal the truth hidden in shadows. Take this seed, the tree guardian continued, and a small, glowing seed appeared on the altar, and plant it in the grove. It will purify the darkness and restore life to the forest. Nivara took the seed, feeling its warmth in her hand. We won't let you down, Eldros. With the seed in hand and the heart of the earth glowing brighter than ever, Tobian and Nivara set off in search of the dark grove. The forest, now aware of their mission, seemed to assist them, parting branches and clearing paths as they walked. The deeper they went, the darker and more twisted the trees became, and the once soothing whispers turned into ominous murmurs. Finally, they reached the grove. It was a place where the light of the forest could not penetrate, shrouded in shadows and filled with an eerie silence. The trees here were gnarled and blackened, their branches clawing at the sky like twisted fingers. The air was thick with a malevolent energy, and the ground was cold and lifeless. This is it, Nivara whispered, her voice steady despite the oppressive atmosphere. We need to be careful. Tobian nodded, setting up his easel. I'll paint what I see. Maybe it will reveal the true nature of this place. As Tobian began to paint, his brush strokes were guided by a force beyond his control. The image that appeared on the canvas was of a dark, shadowy figure at the center of the grove, feeding on the life of the forest. Its form was shrouded in mist, and its eyes glowed with a sinister light. Nivara watched the painting take shape, her eyes narrowing. That's the source of the corruption. We need to confront it and plant the seed. With Tobian's painting guiding them, they moved toward the center of the grove, where the shadowy figure waited. As they approached, the figure turned its glowing eyes on them, its form shifting and growing more monstrous. You dare to challenge me? The figure hissed, its voice a cold, dark echo. This forest will be mine, and you will be consumed by its darkness. Nivara, unshaken, stepped forward, holding the seed aloft. Not if we have anything to say about it. With a swift motion, Nivara planted the seed in the ground. The moment it touched the soil, the seed began to grow, roots spreading out rapidly, pushing back the darkness. The figure howled in fury, but it was too late. The roots ensnared it, pulling it down into the earth, where it was absorbed and purified by the seed's magic. The grove began to change before their eyes. The twisted trees straightened, their blackened bark turning a healthy brown. Leaves sprouted anew, and flowers bloomed where there had been none. The darkness lifted, replaced by a warm, golden light that filled the grove with a sense of peace and renewal. Tobian and Nivara stood together, watching as the forest restored itself. The whispers returned, now filled with gratitude and joy. Eldros' voice echoed through the trees once more. You have done well, travelers. The forest is in your debt. As a token of my gratitude, I grant you the blessing of the forest. With it, you may call upon the power of nature wherever your journey takes you. A soft green light enveloped Tobian and Nivara, filling them with the strength and wisdom of the forest. They felt a deep connection to the land, a bond that would guide them on their future adventures. Thank you, Eldros, Tobian said, his heart filled with a sense of fulfillment. We will carry this blessing with us always. Nivara, her emerald eyes glowing with new energy, smiled at Tobian. "The world is full of wonders, Tobian, and I can't wait to see where our journey takes us next." With the forest restored and the blessing of the forest now a part of them, Tobian and Nivara left the Whispering Forest, ready to face whatever new adventures awaited them. As they walked hand in hand, the trees whispered their farewells, knowing that their brave protectors would always be a part of the forest's ancient magic.